This is Gina Minyard, and the sequence is get grounded, working the legs, the feet, the hips to unleash that downward clearing flow. So come up to table pose to start. You could start with calf smashing. I introduced that in the orientation, so you could take a few minutes, pause and do that, and then start here. Otherwise, come to table pose, and with toes tucked under, I want you to push into the toes. Tuck your toes under, push into the ball of the foot, and spread those pinky toes to the edges of the mat. Spread them wide as you squeeze your heels a little more in. So coming back into a down dog, but make it about your feet. So pushing into your feet, shifting your hips back, toning the core, and then lift your knees slowly, roll over the balls of your feet. With hips up high as you tone your abdomen. And yes, again, just start to pedal things down. Do a little stretch, but think about toning from feet to hips. You're not just sort of passively sinking down, but think about still pushing through the toes, big toe mound especially, and you're think about drawing the arches up, the muscles up, even as you start to ground down through the bones. So we'll come back to that. But here, bend your knees a little bit more and walk your hands to your feet. So get nice and grounded all the way down through your hips, your legs, into your feet. And arch up with your inhale. Bend your knees, hands on thighs. Stand with your inhale all the way up. All right, so from here, you can stay at the back of your mat. I'm gonna turn this way so you can see me. Feet hips width, sitting back into your hips to this downhill skier shape. And I want you to start working your feet. So that means lift a heel up, push into the ball of the foot, and drag back. This is to bring the strength of the muscles up into the hips. So that's again, push and drag. I sometimes call this the gecko drag, to activate the muscles and pull up into your hips. And that's building you into that nice low back curve and keeping your abdomen strong. You can try to do both together. Lift both heels, push into your feet, work the toes, drag back, and then land into that. So you push into your thighs and lengthen your spine. So then with that, stand up slowly with your inhale, reach up. Exhale. Hands on thighs once again, keep all that happening, and then keep pushing into your thighs as you tip slowly forward, tone your belly, bow your head down. Keep the knees bent so that you tip from your hips, so you can keep that strong connection from feet to hips. And arch up half into the inhale, reverse it, hands on thighs, head up and chest up, and come up slowly. All right, take one of your blocks, place that between your shins, and now do this good, a few inches below the knees, on the medium side. Give it a good squeeze, really cinch in tight around it, and do the same thing, just one at a time. Press your big toes more down, pinky toes apart, kind of rocking side to side, again to wake up that strength from feet to hips. Pushing against your thighs to get super grounded, lengthen your spine, and again, stand with your inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, hands on thighs, and keep it all happening. Lengthen your spine, take a breath, and exhale. Slowly fold forward from there. All right, inhale, arch up to halfway. You can set your block to the side from the back of the mat then. Walk forward, downward facing dog. So again, press those hands down, spread your toes, bend your knees, and reach your hips up high. Keep those feet strong, lifting straight from feet to hips. Tone your core, and stretch those heels back and down with that. Okay, come to table. Bring your knees, your feet together. Tuck your toes under and sit your hips to your heels. Toning your core. This can be a lot. You can do this hips width distance. That's a little more gentle. You can also lean forward as much as you need to. We're just going to take a couple deep breaths here. Try to sit up tall. Try to ground down into this. We call this broken toe asana. It stretches out those toes to those feet. Okay. So with that, come forward and point your feet back. You can just give a little smack down. Soften them up. And then take your knees apart. Feet still point back and together. Sit your hips to your heels and lift your belly, lift your ribs. For a child's pose, make it about your hips grounding down. I know often child's pose is like, oh, just rest in child's pose. You certainly can do that if that's what you need. But feel what happens here if you lift a little higher and tone your abdomen, tone your ribs in, and then cinch your hips back and down. Push, you use your hands pushing down before to really ground down. So that gives us this activated lift of the core, which is a big way that we get grounded, in addition to working our feet and our legs, and we'll keep stretching those out further, but getting this grounding heaviness from how you're using your core. So feel that here, we'll keep using that. One more breath. All right, so back up to table, back into down dog. And this time walk it slowly forward to the front of the mat this time, into Uttanasana. And arch up again halfway, bend your knees, hands on thighs, and refreshing what this feels like from feet to hips now, and that sense, that strength analysis, a little more lift of the core. So keep that as you lower back down through into Uttanasana and step your left foot back into a lunge. Lower the back knee down, walk your right foot all the way to the right. And either up on your fingertips, or you can grab a block here for a little extra height. Recreate this connection from both feet. Work those toes, drag the feet towards each other, and it's like you're pulling the strength of muscles up, sit bones back and apart, but then lift your core and pull that right hip a little more under as you bend into that front knee. So we're not sinking down here, though you can move the block out of the way and start to walk the hands a little more forward. We're not collapsing forward into the hips, but rather keep lifting the core, driving energy down through hips, legs, and feet, but not just sinking with gravity. All right, help yourself back up, and move that foot back into the center to step forward and switch. With your breath, right foot back. Lower that knee down. You can always put something cushioned under that knee if you need to. And move that foot to the left, turn the foot and the knee out. Long fingertips here or up on a block, breathing smoothly and deeply. So use your strong legs, press into the inner edges of your feet, work those toes, and scissor strength up the legs, thighs back and apart, and then lift your core in and up. And that lift of the core, pull the left hip under with you. And using that strength, that connection to bend a little deeper into the legs. Maybe you come on the fingertips again, maybe you walk the hands forward, lifting the core in and up, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, so help yourself back up. Again, move that left foot back more to the center. Step forward with your inhale, arch up, and fold with your exhale. Again, arch up halfway with the inhale, hands on thighs, head up, chest up, and stand up nice and slow from there. All right, so you can stay at the front. I'm coming this way again so you can see. Again, from the template of that downhill skier, balancing down on your right foot, lift your left leg up. I'm sorry, do the right foot first. Lift your left leg up and turn the hip and leg out. And cross that ankle over the knee. So again, be strong in your foot. Can you even press the big toe here, sitting back into your hips, keeping hips level. So in strong, it's the same principles here. Strong from feet to hips as you sit back, lifting your core, firming those hips so you don't collapse over to one side. And you can stay here, or you can open your arms out wide and challenge yourself to sit back a little deeper with that standing leg. All right, stand up slowly and switch, a little bend to the knees, lift that other leg, turning out, cross the ankle over. Work the edge of the foot, work the toes, sit back just in the way you've been practicing, strong from feet to hips. Lift the core, firm the outer hips. Maybe those arms come out to your sides. Breathing as you sit back a little further, or not, right? Grab onto a wall if you're having trouble balancing. You can always use a wall for support. Okay, come up slowly. And then here, you can join me in the center of the mat, facing the side of your mat. A little bend to the knees, fingertips touch, and step out to a wide stance. So with that, feet about as wide as the wrist, so you can adjust that as you need to. You can turn that right foot open and bend into the knees. That left foot parallel the short edge, maybe slightly turned in. Make sure feet line up front to back. Before you take your side angle pose, do these actions. Breathe as you draw strength up the legs and move the thighs back. Lift your core as you tighten the glutes. That's not tucking your pelvis under, it's just bringing it all into center with that. You can reach that top arm past the ear. And your option, put a hand on the floor, on a block. Or if you'd like to go deeper, sometimes I like to stay higher up so I can feel more the length of my spine and how it's all coming together. So keep breathing fully. Inhale back up and swivel your feet. That right foot parallel or slightly turned in. Open the left foot more to the front of the room and bend to your knee. Exhaling into it, right? Build from the ground up. Our connection to the ground, drawing that strength up is part of how we get grounded. It's like we ground our muscles to our bones. We pull that strength into our center. So thighs back, lift your core, and then push back down through the roots of your legs. And especially firming that right left hip and making that knee straight ahead. So turn up to the sky, breathing in, breathing out. Exhale, bend a little deeper into that front knee as you go. Inhale, back up. Feet straight ahead. First side again, turn the right foot open. Left foot parallel with the short edge. Bend into the knee and set up here for just a moment. Again, strong from feet to hips, thighs back. Lift your core and use that to look at the front knee. Aim it to the right, keep it there. And now slowly straighten the front leg. So keep that knee straight ahead as you track that leg towards straight, hand to shin or ankle. Grab your block if you'd like a little extra support under the hand. You don't need too much weight there, but it can give you some height, an extra place of balance. Same principles, strong from feet to hips. Thighs back enough. And then firm the right hip under as you turn more up to the sky. That's it. Top arm stretching up. Alignment if you're ready. And inhale back up. Feet straight ahead. Open to the left. Letting up front foot to the middle of the back foot. Exhale into that thigh. Forearm under thigh. And again, strong from feet to hips, thighs back. Lift your core, tighten the glutes, and start to stretch that front leg to straight. Sliding that hand down, shin or ankle. Using a block, of course, as you wish, same as on the other side. And firm that hip under. Turn more up to the sky. Stretch your top arm up when you're ready. Breathe in, connection from feet to hips. Breathe out, firming that hip in as you turn up to the sky. And inhale back up. That's it. Turn both feet straight ahead. Step your feet back together. This next pose, tree pose, balancing posture, so find a wall if you need extra support. But if you can, bring your feet all the way together. And here, again, balancing on that left foot, take your right leg up, and then use those strong hip muscles, again, turn out to the side. You can do ankle to knee, foot on the thigh, shin rather, or you can grab the foot and draw it up. Remember that shape we took where you sat on your heels. If you're able to sit all the way down, try to close the knee that much. Try to get your heel that high to the sit bone to bring it across. Obviously, do the best you can there with whatever version you're doing. Press foot and leg together. If you here, can you roll the inner thighs a little more back? Can you tone your core above it and push back down? Now even open that right knee further to the side. Hands can be at heart center, or you can reach overhead. Breathing in, breathing out. Especially as you breathe out. Ground through those hips and legs, through that knee, through that foot. Maybe the hands come together. All right, lower down from there. Lower the foot down, take a breath. And balancing on your right foot, bend the left leg up. From those hips, turn out. And again, that foot can come a little higher, or lower, higher. If you're bringing it up high, try to close the knee all the way. Squeeze that heel up high and then across. Hands at heart center to begin. Breathe in, draw strength from feet through the legs, sit bones back and apart. As you tone your core, firm those hips. That'll open the hip, that left knee out a little wider. Pull into center, ground down. Maybe stretch those arms overhead. Breathing in, breathing out. Especially that exhale, ground down. Reach up a little higher if you can. And with your next exhale, undo the pose. Stand, go back to feet hips width. It's a little bit more grounding. Let's the energy descend a little bit more. All right. So let's go again to the back of the mat. Clear your blocks off the mat. And from there, bend your knees, hands on the thighs, a little deeper into the hips. So we've done this good work to really open things up. So draw strength from feet to hips. Push those thighs down and back. The inner thighs roll back. And keep those outer hips toned. Lengthen through, take a breath in. And tip slowly forward from your hips. Now if you're tighter, you could be on a block here, right? You could still bend your knees a lot. And think about drawing strength from feet to hips, lifting your sit bones, getting more tip. If you're more flexible, you sort of cascade forward from your hips here. Make sure you're toning your belly, toning the glutes, and you can add taking those arms a little further around if you wish. It's still super strong from feet to hips. With the exhale, push into your feet more, dive in a little deeper. Alright, so with your next inhale, arch up, walk forward, downward facing dog. So this next pose, you can either lower the knees and step your right foot forward. That would be a little more gentle. Or with an inhale, lift your right leg up, and exhale, step it forward. So we end up in the same place. The back knee can be down, or you can keep it lifted. But this time, move your feet together, lined up on a tightrope. This is called pigeon on a tightrope. So then here, start to rock onto the edge of your right foot. Now be careful with that, because they come to the edge of the foot, we tend to collapse the ankle. If it sickles the foot, it can torque the knee. That's not good. So be on the sharp edge of the foot. That ankle is strong. And like you've been practicing, you might try to take your hands wider, a lot more in front of you. Draw strength up the legs. Widening the sit bones back and apart. Lift your core so much. It's a strong core here. And then you start to stretch deeper into it. Try to lower your hips a little lower. Try to open that right a little further to the right. If this feels intense, you're doing it right. It's a big hip stretch. As you lift your core, think about grounding down through hips and legs. Help yourself back up. And back either to hands and knees or back to down dog. All right. Left leg up with your inhale. Or just step the left foot forward from table. Exhale, we'll join you there. All right, so you'll line up your feet front to back, like on a tightrope. And then be strong on that nice edge of your left foot as you start to pivot out to the side. Sharp on that foot. And again, it's the difference, you can just maybe see it here better, not letting that ankle drop. But push the ankle, the edge of the foot so strongly that that ankle is like lifting away from the floor. Hands a little wider, forward more, from both feet. Draw strength up the legs. Sit bones back and apart. Lift your core to exhale and round, push down through the legs to lower deeply down. You notice I'm not collapsing my foot. I'm not just trying to lower the knee to the side. I'm trying to widen my sit bones and then to stretch deeper by just grounding to lower down and to stretch through. Whew. All right, come back up and then into down dog or just back to table. We'll join you there. So down dog, take a breath. And then you come down to table if you did that version. All right, then from table, bring your left knee behind your right knee. Take those feet out wide. So this is cow face pose, going across the legs anyway. Noticing in my feet, I'm not sickling at my ankles, I'm pointing them back, strong feet, strong from feet to hips, and sitting back and down. You can grab a block for this one. For most of us here, gives you a little more space to work with. Turn those inner thighs down as much as you can even here. So variations, so tighter hips, sit up higher, heels closer, more open hips, we say, just easier to sit down and bend at the hips. You might take your feet wider and still be on the edge of the feet. Maybe you're sitting on the floor, try to widen that left sit bone more to the left. Push into those edges of the feet. You're gonna feel a little rounded back here. Try to sit up tall. Elongate your spine. We're just gonna do the legs here. I know for me when I just push in the edges of my feet, I just exhale, let my pelvis release downward. It's a big stretch. It's plenty of stretch right through here. So grounding down, even still think about pushing out through your feet, even at this angle. All right, carefully back to table. Go the other way. So swing your right knee behind your left, open those feet to the edges of the mat. You start at the top of the feet and plan on landing on a block. Even though you're still trying to angle the feet like you could sit down between, right? The sit bones back and apart, toning your core. If you have a little more room to go, you try sitting all the way down and separating through a little wider, maybe a little more flex in your feet. But either way, just think sharp on the edges of the feet. So ground into your hips. Stay strong. Still even here, think about widening, drawing from feet to hips, sit bones back and apart. Long through your spine to exhale and ground through your hips. Through your feet. Full breaths in and out. And then one more time, help yourself back through table. From your table, rock over the feet and into a standing forward fold. You might feel so deeper grounding here, deeper release. Tone your belly in and up. Stay steady through your feet and your legs. And then lower back down to table pose. We just have a few seconds left. Take a seat, bring soles of feet together. You can also, again, sit up on a block.